Is this you? You struggle to study, so you look up tips on YouTube. After hours of content and hundreds of tips, you decide to try a few. You don't get the results you want, so you go back to YouTube to find more new tips that no one has said yet. It's an endless cycle that feels productive, but is actually holding you back from good grades. This video is the ultimate solution to all your study problems. You do not need another study tips video. There's a reason why you're still not getting the results you want. What you need is to rewire your mind. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did that to become valedictorian while maintaining 8 hours of sleep and playing varsity sports. Yes, unfortunately, these eye bags are genetic. This is probably the most important academic video I've made yet, because as a straight A student who is not a genius by any means, did I get that by watching hours and hours of study tips videos on YouTube? No, I didn't even know they existed. I'm not about that gatekeeping, so I'm literally gonna share with you the secret to actually get the grades and every single achievement that you want in life. I was a bit more serious, more harsh, less smiley in this video, but I just care so much about you reaching your potential, because on the internet and with kids wanting to become TikTokers nowadays, there is just so much lost potential, and I think that it's really hard for young students to realize what will actually pay off more in the long run. Because I've talked to several adults actually who really regretted their decisions they made when they were a student. So I'm just super passionate, and I just really want to drive this point home, hence the seriousness. But as always, much love, and I believe in you. Here's everything we're going to go over today. Yes, the last one is about how study tips videos will help you. I make study videos too. I'm not about to shoot myself in the foot, okay? But if you've watched my videos before, you will know that my study tips videos are unique. 2 important things before we get going. 1, you do not need sugarcoating. I've seen so many productivity videos, or like that angry buff man like yelling at you, right? But I don't see any of that kind of attitude towards students in study videos, which, okay, I get it, because students are usually younger, right? You don't want to like hurt their feelings. So I see a lot of study YouTubers who are quite nice. I'm pretty nice too, I hope. But it's even more important for students to get their life together, because if you don't, I guarantee you are going to be so regretful. You are at the age where you have literally all the opportunity to choose what trajectory your life is going to be at. If you think about a golf ball being hit, right? The farther the ball gets hit at a different angle, the bigger the difference that angle is going to make as time goes on. So the earlier you are in your life, the bigger difference and the more success you can have later on. Sometimes I get comments saying, grades don't matter, school's overrated, college is overrated. You know what? Those are probably the people who didn't work hard enough in school and are subconsciously regretting their choices because they don't have that dream life they might be seeing on the internet. So they're going to be taking it out on people and discouraging other students. That's how they try and cope with it. And guess what? Even if they did try to change and improve now, that's going to be nowhere near the results that you can have if you actually try right now as a student. Number 2, this video is applicable to you anytime, and honestly, even if you're not a student anymore, because even if you're in the beginning of the school year and you're all fired up to go, this video will help you. Even if you only have a few months left of school, this will help you to actually bring your grades up before the year ends. Even if you are in summer, you can use this video to be rewiring your mindset to be more successful in any aspect of your life. And when you do go back to school, you will be ready to go, already ahead, and you will actually start and continue the school year strong. As we will discuss later, a big problem that students have is that they try something or they start something and it's great in the beginning, but then they fall off very quickly. Ouch. Section 1, why study videos are not working for you. The biggest reason is Sorry, I had to burp. The biggest reason is you're taking a cop-out. You are either procrastinating or you are looking for someone else to have all the answers to your special, unique life. Looking for someone to hold your hand and make everything 5 times easier. But the bottom line is that you are not thinking yourself. Instead of taking a moment and being like, what can I do better? Why am I not getting the grades I want? You are going instead on YouTube to listen to other people to distract you from your current situation. You are purposefully distracting yourself to avoid not only the work, but also the thinking, to problem solve yourself out of whatever situation you're in. How do you know these people on the internet are even credible, okay? So like I can give you my diploma to show you I did get valedictorian and I got into Caltech and got a 4.0, right? Even then, how do you really know that the person who can just put out a video has all the answers to your life? And I know sometimes you're desperate, right? So you will go comment on a video, I have this specific situation where I have a test in 2 days, please help me. Your time would be better spent stopping your work right there and looking at your stuff from an outside, a third point of view so you can be your own coach. I've gotten comments from you that say, how do I cut my screen time? How do I increase my focus? Well, first of all, good to be aware that your focus is an issue, but you already know how to cut your screen time. You just do it. There are plenty of videos out there. You're just not doing it. I bet you could think of those tips yourself if you actually tried to use the smart brain that you were given. You have to have more confidence and trust in your own ability to give yourself advice. You have to boost your ego a bit and be like, what's so special about that person on YouTube? I bet I can give just as good as advice as that person. So yeah, do it and say that advice to yourself. Another reason the videos aren't helping, you need to learn by doing. So this was actually an efficiency study tip where I said that you can learn better by doing the homework instead of studying first. Same thing, you can study all the study videos that you want, but if you do not do and actually live your life and study and go through the struggles, you will not actually learn the good habits that will serve you now and that will serve you later in life. After studying through a test with a certain way and you get a bad grade, there you go. Now reflect on what you did and see how you can do better. That's how you iterate and improve over time. There is a photography class. The teacher splits the groups into two. The first group of 50 people is instructed to take just one picture for the entire semester and they have to submit that. The second group of 50 people is instructed to take 100 pictures and to submit their best one. Which group do you think submitted the best pictures? Of course, it's the second group because they literally tried 100 times already. So you have to learn by doing and going out there to experience life yourself. You have to make yourself uncomfortable, take that hard class, and that will make you a stronger student. Reason number 3, study videos are not helping you. Scientifically proven means very little. Scientifically proven what? I'm sure that these researchers did do good science, but unless it's proven by yourself to work, it literally does not matter if someone said it's scientifically proven.
When people contrast their fantasies about a desired future with reflections on their present reality, a necessity to act is induced that leads to the activation and use of relevant expectations.
You need to think, I'm the only proof I need to see if this tip is actually legit. That also ties into the second reason I just gave. I think students will watch a video that has all these fancy terms and scientifically proven stuff, and they'll try and they'll be like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. There must be something wrong with me. No, that's you taking a passive role in your studies and improvement. You have to take a more active role and believe again that you are the expert, that you can decide for yourself what works. The fourth and final reason why they're not working for you is that you are not staying consistent or you're not even starting. You watch the study video and it sounds so legit, it sounds so great, and you are kind of putting yourself in the shoes of the person that would do that tip. And you feel so motivated because you can imagine yourself succeeding. But that's just a temporary boost of dopamine, right? You get it, you feel motivated, and then you do nothing. You have to go back and watch another one because that gives you another boost of dopamine, which again is useless. Even if you do start, you're kind of forcing yourself to do the tip. But the reason you can't stay consistent is because your body is in dissonance with your mind. Your mind is thinking, oh my gosh, this is so hard. All I want is good grades. So you know what? I'm gonna force myself to do this. And your body is like forced. And of course, that's not a sustainable way to do a habit consistently. You are not balancing yin and yang. This is something I talked about in a previous video. The concept is that your mind being positive is going to influence your actions to be positive. And your actions doing something good for you is then going to go in a circle and influence your mind to be even more confident. So yin yang goes in a circle and mutually perpetuates itself such that you can improve faster and more easily. The only way that study tips video will be effective is if you watched it with the intention of taking action as a reward. Instead, you watched the study tips video with the intention for that reward to be either motivation or a dopamine that helps you procrastinate. So clearly from this section, you can see that your mind is the issue. So how do we rewire our brains? If you are working on something meaningful, it's going to be difficult, so there will be stress. Except that having some stress is good because that means you're actually pushing yourself. But you know when that becomes an issue? It's when you start saying things like, I'm afraid I'm gonna fail. Oh, I'm so nervous about the test. I don't think I can get it all done because I'm so behind. Do you notice that these words are all negative? You only hear that negative thing. And the more you hear it, and have the fear of the negative, it's actually gonna make it more likely to come true. So what you have to do is change what you say. Instead of being like, I don't want to fail, you have to say, I want to get an A. Instead of saying, I don't want to fall behind, say, I want to get ahead. Your psychology affects the ability and ease of doing productive things.
I am so powerful. My mind, it amazes me sometimes.
And this is evident from sports psychology. So coaches will tell the players, make the basket, but they will never say, don't miss. Because as a, say, basketball player, if you hear don't miss, that's the word that you are latching onto. So your brain subconsciously consumed that word miss, and you're more likely to miss. Instead, your brain has to be biased toward the positive result, therefore making it more likely to happen. That was the first tip, say the positive. The second one is kind of like its sister, but it's affirmations. The issue is that you can say, I'm smart, and you can say, I'm good at school, all you want, but that's not the right way to have affirmations, okay? What to do instead for your affirmations, and what I did would be like, I'm smart because I know that if I study for these 3 hours tonight, I'm gonna get an A. Do you see how I added a reason with that because? Here's another way. I know I'm good in school because I keep my files organized. In both cases, the things that come after because are a habit. Because I associate that habit with being smart or good in school, which are positive things, that encourages me to keep doing those good things like study and keep my files organized. Say the compliment about yourself and add because if I did this, then blah. You must know that your dream self, that star student academic weapon, already exists within you. You just have to take the steps to bring it out. You have to be able to visualize two paths. This is your star student self. This is your lazy student self. This star student self exists as a very strong possibility. Not even a possibility. It is a guarantee if you take steps on the path to be the star student. And you know what those steps are. You know it would be to study, right? It would be to get off YouTube. It would be to get off TikTok. And you also know what the steps are to that lazy student path. Do you see how if it's clear to you what you could become, of course you would do the right things because you know that if you did, you would become that star student you always wanted to be. In fact, your future self is looking back and counting on your current self to choose the right thing so that they can actually exist. Think about the last time you watched a study tips video. You watch the tip and you believe that will give you straight A's, right? No, you did not believe it because if you did, you would have done the thing that the video said for you to do. You would have done it consistently because you actually believed it would get you those results. The third thing to rewire your brain, everything can be used to your advantage. If something good happens in your life, you can use that to your advantage. If something bad happens to your life, you can use it to your advantage. This is what sets apart the mediocre students from the straight A student. When I did bad on a test, did I sit back and be like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be bad from this point on. What's the point of studying? I guess this is just my academic flop era. I tried so hard last time and it didn't give me a result, so why should I try the next time? No, every time I got a bad result, I was way more fired up to get the best grade possible the next time. I used that C grade as a fire under my butt. I felt this drive within me to be like, no, this is not me. I'm gonna prove that this is not the grade I deserve. I'm gonna prove this C wrong. Say the mean kid in your class gets a better grade than you. You could complain and say they don't deserve it. Be like, ugh, they're not a good person anyway. They were probably just lucky. Who cares if you think they deserved it or not? They got the score, plain and simple. That means that they must have done something right that you can learn from, or their achievement that you got so upset about can become your advantage that drives you to beat them next time. Because you know what? For what they earned, they did deserve. You complaining gives you absolutely no benefit. You want to be selfish and be like, oh, this situation, whatever it is, I'm going to use it to my advantage. In high school, I was not popular, okay? Working hard in school is uncool. But did that stop me? No. It's like trash talking at a sports game, right? So the other team is gonna heckle you and say mean things, hoping that will bring you down. But actually, you can use it to your advantage. When they trash talk you, you're gonna get even more fired up and you're gonna get even more motivated to beat their butts. Having this mindset when any negativity tries to knock you down is protecting your own energy. But not only that, you're using it to give you more energy. It's like the Black Panther suit where the more he gets hit, that actually gives him more power for that explosion effect he does. That's the best analogy I've come up with in a while. I just thought of that. 4, be your own coach. The first section makes it evident why you should coach yourself. So this is how you do it. Whenever you're feeling something, when you feel stressed, you have to ask why. Then you're gonna ask, how am I gonna fix that? Do I even have to fix that? If you want to get a good grade, you have to ask yourself, why? I want a good grade so I can graduate at the top of my class. Well, why? Oh, because I want to earn 6 figures when I grow up. Oh, why? Oh, because I want to retire my parents. Okay, there you go. That's a strong enough reason. Okay, now, how? I'm gonna get good grades by studying. Okay, and how? I'm gonna get good grades by putting away TikTok. Okay, great. So as your own coach, now you're gonna make yourself get off TikTok. Because guess what? You can control your own bodies. This hand, I'm moving it because I want to right now. I know they trained you to be addicted and YouTube Shorts is there, but all it takes is that split-second decision and it's easier. Okay, it's that activation energy. You do it without thinking. You don't think, you just do. Not only do you coach yourself, but you also have to be coachable. You can't just be telling yourself, get off your phone, and then your player's like, nah, because then you would probably kick them off your team. So be coachable too. 5, realize when you are self-sabotaging. These tips all tie together and complement each other, just like yin yang. The idea is, if you are doing so many things, you're overwhelmed with school, extracurriculars, you have to do things at home for your family, you just feel like there are not enough hours in the day, and you wonder why it's not working, you have to take a step back and be like, wait, am I self-sabotaging myself right now by thinking that I can do all these things? Maybe what I actually need to do that will make me more successful is to evaluate my commitments and cut unimportant things out. When you're scrolling on your phone, when you know you shouldn't, you have to think of that as betraying yourself. Because you can study all you want, but the more you spend scrolling on your phone is canceling out the hard work you have put in. And then when you don't get a grade you want, you are like, oh my gosh, but I studied so hard. Just a quick reminder that all the things I'm sharing are literally what I used to do well in school, have friends, have social life, do well in sports, and be healthy. So that's my credibility there, okay? I'm not just telling you do this, because I think it works. It actually works. Freedom isn't free. I posted this short.
When you're unmotivated, ask yourself this question. Would you rather have 10 years of freedom for 60 years of pain, or 10 years of pain for 60 years of freedom?
And as I said in that description, the freedom that you are working toward is your freedom of choice. Because when you are spending time in the right ways, building your human capital and high value skills that no one can take away from you, you will have the options to buy the things you want, to live the places you want to be in. You will have more choices with what to do with your time once you're out of school. And the time you spend outside of school is like 5 times longer than your time in school. So of course you want to be taking advantage of this amazing opportunity you have, because you can use these 12 plus years of school to influence the whole rest of your life after that. The freedom you have now as a student is to be lazy, is to not do the work because you have food on the table provided by your parents. But if you aren't grateful and use your opportunity now, you are not going to have the options or any freedom that you once dreamed of once you get out of school. What makes you think that you can get that dream car or that dream house or live a comfortable life if you are putting in less work than the person next to you? If you want something good in life, you have to give something too. You have to earn it. Nothing can just be handed to you on a silver platter. If I wanted to get a new shirt, I felt like I have to work harder. And after my parents buy me something nice, instead of just thinking, oh my gosh, this is so great, I deserve this anyway. When someone treated me well, I'm like, I have to work even harder to deserve this good thing that I've been given, and such that I can deserve more good things in the future. Number 8, mature people are adults who do what has to be done. A baby or a toddler acts on impulse because they are not mature. So if a baby wants to cry because they're upset, they will do that. If they want to bite on their toy, they will do that. An adult knows that they have responsibilities, they have a family to take care of, they have bills to pay, and so they can't just act on impulse whenever they want. The more mature you are and the more you can control that split-second decision, the more successful you will become. Anytime you're faced with an impulse, you have a choice, and that is your opportunity to pick the right one, to go down the right path more. And maturity does not just mean with age, okay? There are plenty of adults who act on their impulses of drinking too much alcohol, but the idea is that you need to realize that you are a human being, and the beauty of being a human is that you do not just act on your impulses. I treated time like it was gold because every second counted, and I didn't need someone to tell me, do your homework in school, read your textbook while waiting for your tennis match. Me valuing time so much made it an automatic, easy decision of what to do when the gift of extra time suddenly pops up. Time is gonna pass anyway, so each time that you leverage to do something good for yourself is one step closer to reaching your potential. But every time you waste, that's one step farther away from the accomplishments you can have. Time is the great equalizer. Imagine you and all your classmates in a race together when you're going for your grades. Someone could be running, but then they stop. In fact, they can take a few steps back because they were scrolling on TikTok or watching video games. But what do? You understand the value of every drop of time, that even if you are slow, you're gonna keep jogging. If someone told you the goal in this race is to get as far as you can, you're not gonna just stop in the middle and take a nap, right? So if your goal is to reach your highest potential, time is the currency by which you decide what you're going to spend it on. Imagine literally as gold coins, and you are dropping them into buckets. This bucket is your potential bucket. The more you fill it, you're reaching your potential. You might be dropping your gold coin into the dumpster fire of TikTok, video games, browsing social media and celebrities and all that other stuff. But you have to understand that every drop of time counts. Gosh, I need to find some way to better explain it. I'm not the most eloquent with words sometimes, especially when I'm trying to be more candid with a video like this one. Feel free to let me know if I'm really driving that one home, because people just don't value their time. And if I could give one piece of advice to make you successful in life, it would be to value your time. You're lying if you say you value your time and your screen time is like 4 hours a day. Yin yang. Balance yin yang, like I explained earlier. Ask yourself this: what will my current actions get me? And what will my current mindset get me? If your current action is sitting around being lazy, then the only reward you're gonna get is regret. If your mindset is caring so much about fitting in with the popular kids who never study, what is that going to get you? That's going to get you bad grades. So you have to constantly evaluate both what your mindset and what your actions are getting you. Doing good in one will help boost the other and boost the other in a circle. Ooh, that was a meaty section, and the sun has changed. But those are 10 things you can do to rewire your mindset. Don't expect it to happen overnight. Don't try to apply all 10 at once. This is a video really created for you to watch again and again. Think of those Chloe Ting workouts, right? They're meant for you to do them like 20 days in a row. So use this kind of like a brain exercise, right? You train your muscles consistently with the same video, right? Well, train your mind consistently with the same concepts and video too, okay? Listen on the way to school, listen whenever you can, okay? Rewire your brain like a subliminal. Subliminals are dumb in my opinion. Use this video. When study videos actually help you. Yes, that is after you have used the mindsets that I talked about earlier, and especially after you've tried to give yourself tips. After you think you have reached your limit as a coach, then you go to find your friend who's a more experienced coach, and you watch them on YouTube and see, oh, this is what they're doing. Let me try that for my player. Ensure that the study videos you're watching are where the person said they've actually used this and it's worked, so then you can try it. Think critically about whether that study YouTuber literally just put it in ChatGPT or literally just Googled it and regurgitated it in a video. Make sure that the study tuber you're listening to is credible, and then use them as inspiration. You might not use their tips exactly, but they can inspire you to coach yourself in a different, more effective way. And again, if you've watched my videos, then you know that I have some unique tips. And the reason they're unique is because I'm not Googling tips. These are things that I know myself, that I have coached myself to do. So there you go. That's proof that being your own coach will make you an actual expert. Thanks so much. Good job. I was quite dubious about making this video because students have such short attention spans. There's no 20-minute video out there on how to become a better student for real, like this video. So I was like, are they even gonna watch this? Should I even make this? But I was just so passionate and like fired up today because I kept seeing these study videos pop up and I'm like, no, these are just a waste of time if you don't have the right mindset. So I had to make it. I had to put my knowledge out there such that it's available to you as soon as possible. Again, watch it as many times as you need. I do this literally myself. Again, I always give advice that I do myself. I've been watching Tam Kaur. She is phenomenal, guys. I would love to meet her one day. I will link her below because I also recommend you to watch her because she will also help rewire your mindset. And her content is longer as well. But you know what? That's exactly how you can increase your attention span. The most valuable information is in the content that fewer people will consume. Think about it. Most people will consume short form content, but most people are not successful. Maybe 50% of people will consume a long YouTube video. That 50% may be more successful. Top 1%, they read books, they listen to podcasts. So the longer content you consume, you are putting yourself in that more successful bracket. Now I am just rambling as if I wasn't rambling this whole video. Let me know if this was helpful and come back after you've tried the tips and let me know what happens to your grades and your life after you rewire your brain. One of the best things you can do for yourself in learning from other people is to learn how the successful people think. If you want to hear more about the yin-yang concept and how to make the greatest comeback of your life, then check out this video. I talk about a mental disability that I had, so I'm proof you have no excuses. You got this, okay? Rooting for you. Peace.